Now, I was proud of the players. Played hard against Gardner Webb. Sometimes when, played it right to the end. And we just got to get ready for Campbell. Good football team. Very good football team. In all phases, I see where they receive some votes from the FCS as far as rankings go. So we got to get ready for a good football team. Questions?
Over the years, I think anyway, if I might be right on this, the punting game hasn't been the greatest, but this year you seem to have that as a strong positive. If you would just sort of talk about what Ivan's been able to do for you.
Ivan's been incredible. Because right now I think he's like third in the nation in punts. He was fifth last week, and I think he's third in the nation. I think he's averaging something like, net punt 45 yards or something like that. We went to a different style. Kind of more like a little rugby style kicking, and he's done well. I've been very proud of him. And we got him as a transfer, but he really wasn't on the Eastern Michigan team when we got him. He was pretty much done with football, and we were very fortunate to get him last year. But he's improved tremendously. He's been great.
DeAndre Falk, he was part of your original signing class, had to sit out last year. How has he come along, do you feel, with you this year?
Mental toughened. He's a tough young man. Anytime you come into college and you're non-qualifier and you sit out the whole year and go through that process, but then be resilient and come back and get your schoolwork to where it needs to be as far as eligibility go, and now he's out here and he's playing well for us. And that's what I tell people all the time. We're playing with, him and Mason King. Our linebackers, they're freshmen. They're redshirt freshmen on the field. And I've been very happy with them. I told the guys the other day, I said, realistic, we should be 5-1. We 3-3. But, the Gardner Webb game could have went either way. I think for to have these young guys and keeping the mental attitude that they have, I'm very proud of them. But DeAndre has been a blessing for us to have on this football team. And, man, 3 years from now, man, wow, it's amazing where that guy would be on the football field.
He was more of an outside guy in high school. What was it that made you guys think he could be a middle for you?
Well, my philosophy on linebackers is you try to recruit guys that can play both. You don't want to get caught up in that Mike backer and then somebody get injured and you're stuck. So you want to try to get a guy that can play both. DeAndre can play both. Andre is a 4'7" guy, and when next year, the more he stays in the weight room, he end up being a 4'6". I could see him leaving here around the 4'5". We were very fortunate to get him. DeAndre is a BCS player. I think one of the reasons we got him was relationships and because of the grade situation he had. But other than that, I don't think we would have got him.
He asked you about one specialist. I'll ask you about another. Evan Lomax, 2 field goals, and looks like he's getting better on the short kickoffs, like during the Gardner Webb game.
Yeah,
he's getting a bit better at that.
Yeah, he is. And then keep in mind, Evan is, he played a lot last year. He's still learning the game. He's a young kicker, but he's really, he's really improving with his field goals. I regret that at the end that we could have threw the ball out of bounds or something, got him to kick, right at the end and get another field goal in there and on that long drive. Evan has been outstanding. We got 2 years left with him. The sky's the limit with this guy. And he told me yesterday, he said, Coach, I think I can kick it from 55. He's getting stronger. These guys have never been in the weight room. They just starting to get in the weight room, building his legs up. And I'm very excited about Evan Lomax.
One of the guys who saw really have a big game for the first time, Cortez Lewis. I know Alec Dana didn't play. Looked like he got hurt in the North Alabama game, but he had a real big impact on that game.
Yeah, and he needs to step up. When you get guys down, he's finally got a chance there with Alex going down and Jada is hobbling. You can clearly see. Guys, I didn't address it because I'm not a type of coach that'll go out there and talk about injuries and stuff, but I will address it now. We're walking wounded. We leave Friday, and we got 2 of our young men, Antonio Graham, Ike, both of those guys had ACL surgeries. Alex Dana, broke his collarbone. I mean, we got, that's 3 guys those are the 3 fastest guys on our team. One of them ran a 4.4, the other 2 ran a 4.5. I mean, we lost both of those guys, and so hopefully, we continue. Jada Kiss is hobbling. I mean, killed his seat in the game that he has a banged up ankle. I mean, so, but everybody has that. So I don't want to get into a thing about injuries, but I'm telling you is that I could have, meeting with you guys, I could have talked to you about it, but I didn't feel a need to. So we got a lot of, we're walking wounded right now. But everybody in the country is walking and wounded. We just got to fight through it.
Sometimes I assume when I shouldn't, but Dana's done for the year.
I wouldn't say that. It's just a chance based on the doctor that we might could get him back at the end. Okay. But he has a broken collarbone. You can see it on X-ray. So, but it doesn't require surgery. That's why I say it's a chance we could get him back. Mm-hmm. And that's a big loss because he's our fastest guy on the team. And Bale, I don't know if Bale could play this week. We just found out Bale just went to the doctor and we're not sure he's probable for this week. So that's where we're at, guys.
You're talking about Campbell. Do you know Mike Minter at all?
Oh yeah, great guy, man. Mike's a great guy. We all know about him playing with the Panthers and then him going off to college, how good of a football player he was. And he's one of those tough, hard-nosed guys. Mike has did a phenomenal job in the Big South. I mean, his kids, you can clearly see that they well prepared, they play hard, and I got all the respect in the world for Mike, but I got all the respect for all those coaches in the Big South. Every coach, in the Big South, and we had a media day, and I'm not saying it just to sit up here and say it. It's just I get to spend time with those guys. Mm-hmm. Those guys love the players. They're very professional, and they're outstanding coaches. And Mike is one of those guys.
You had, as you know, of course, 14 penalties your last game, 13 the game before that, a couple other games where it was above 10. Is that anything you're seeing in films that are anything that you need to correct, or?
I have no comments on the officiating.
Not the officiating.
I have no comments. I have no comments about that. Period. I have no comments about that. Period.
I had a lot of comment on Saturday. But
what was the penalties on Saturday? I forgot. What
the
was
disparity was 14-4, and they had 30 yards, and we had 145. And there was a lot of it there were a lot of no calls for Gardner Webb. So
I think the gap was the thing that stood out the most. There's been a lot of games where you had 14 penalties and the other team had 12, or vice versa. But you're right, you probably should have seen it. Are you defensively? I mean, you guys aren't giving up a ton of yards, but it's been a lot of points. What have they had short fields or?
Yeah, I think that we have thrown a couple of you saw the interceptions that we have thrown and put us in a bad situation and everything. But the guys give a couple of big plays here and there, but we're still ranked 44th in the country in defense. So, I mean, not like we're playing bad. It's just that you take away a couple of busted plays and the bad field positions. I mean, look at it. The last 2 teams ain't rushed for over 60 yards in rushing. And then you're playing, I mean, think about it, in the secondary. And Goulet haven't came back yet. Markel coming off a torn ACL surgery. We're playing with 2 scholarship kids. I mean, everybody. I mean, I'm not going to go out and but look at who we're playing with. We're playing with 2 scholarship kids in the secondary.
Is Christian close?
I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, this hamstring thing done lingered, but we're playing, I mean, up front, we got over 20 guys on scholarship on the D-line, but linebackers, we got 6 guys on scholarship. Secondary, we got 2. We're playing with 4 guys. The guys that was here, they were walk-ons. Caleb Brown was a walk-on with Coach Maynard. Justin Brown was a walk-on. Joe Towns was a walk-on. I mean, Ryan Taylor was a walk-on. Terry Childers was a walk-on. And we're trying to put in the best schemes possible that we can play. We got to go out and recruit some more players, and you can clearly see that. But for them to play the way I've been so proud of them, to be ranked 44th in the country, and to be able to to hang in there like we have, and to be 3-3. I mean, I can tell you this much: I don't think nobody's sitting around the Big South saying that, hey, we're just going to run over Hampton, and this being our first year. I think they know when they play us, it's going to be a tough game. I don't think teams going to line up just to play us. You can see that it's a difference between now and last year. So I can see the improvement, but of course we got to get out and recruit some more players in the back end. I mean, that's obvious. They got scholarship players back there. We don't, and we got to get some more scholarship guys in that back end. But I like the way everybody's playing because they have made some plays. Think about this now. I was looking at the other day. The cornerbacks have played over 300 plays, and Donald Smith is giving up 2 touchdowns. So you're talking about, these guys have played a lot of plays, but if you look at it, we've given up some big plays where it might be 3 or 4 here. Other than that, there's no rushing yards. There's just a big play, I think that I always talk to them about eye control, and I think it's about being young and being inexperienced. And once again, it goes back to when you playing with some guys that's, they walk on guys, and we got to get some more guys. We got to get more depth. If that makes sense to you? We need some depth, Dave. We really do. I hope that makes sense to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
It does. It clears up a little bit, too.
Yeah. All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you.